You're training hard, pushing your limits, sweating through every session. But what if I told you that the secret to dramatically increasing your VO2 max isn't what most people think? What if the answer has been hiding in plain sight, backed by cutting-edge science that elite athletes have been quietly using for years? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might completely change how you approach your training forever. Most people believe that endless hours of steady cardio is the key to improving oxygen capacity. They think more miles equal better results. But here's the thing. Your body is smarter than that, and there's a method so efficient, so surprisingly simple, that when you understand the science behind it, you'll wonder why nobody told you this before. This isn't about working harder. It's about working intelligently, and the difference is massive. Welcome to a journey that will transform your understanding of cardiovascular fitness. Prepare to discover why conventional wisdom might be holding you back, and more importantly, what the latest research reveals about optimizing your body's ability to use oxygen. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete roadmap that doesn't require you to become a marathon runner or spend endless hours in the gym. Ready? Let's dive deep into the science of human performance. First, let's talk about what VO2 max actually means and why it matters so much. Your VO2 max is the maximum amount of oxygen your body can utilize during intense exercise. Think of it as your engine's capacity. The bigger the engine, the more power you have. Athletes with high VO2 max can sustain harder efforts for longer periods. They recover faster, perform better, and their bodies are essentially more efficient machines. But here's where it gets interesting. Your VO2 max isn't fixed. It's trainable, highly responsive to the right stimulus, and can improve significantly at any age. Now, here comes the game changer. Research from the Norwegian University of Science and Technology revealed something extraordinary. They compared different training protocols and found that high-intensity interval training, specifically a protocol called 4x4 intervals, produced the most dramatic improvements in VO2 max. But it's not just any interval training. This method involves 4 minutes of high-intensity work at around 85 to 95% of your maximum heart rate, followed by 3 minutes of active recovery. You repeat this 4 times. That's it. The entire workout, including warm-up and cool-down, takes about 40 minutes. What makes this so intelligent? Your body responds to stress and adaptation. When you push into that high-intensity zone, you're creating a powerful signal that tells your cardiovascular system it needs to upgrade. Your heart muscle strengthens, your capillary density increases, and your mitochondria multiply. These are the cellular powerhouses that use oxygen to create energy. The 4-minute work interval is long enough to maximize oxygen consumption, but short enough to maintain quality intensity. The 3-minute recovery lets you clear lactate and prepare for the next round without complete rest. This balance is crucial because it allows you to accumulate significant time at or near your VO2 max during a single session. Studies show that individuals following this protocol for 8 weeks can see improvements of 10 to 15% in their VO2 max. For context, that's the kind of improvement that can take someone from average fitness to athletic performance levels. Elite athletes use variations of this method because it delivers results without the massive time commitment of traditional endurance training. You're essentially getting more adaptation in less time by targeting the specific physiological pathways that govern oxygen utilization. Now, think about this for a moment. How many hours do you currently spend training each week? What if you could achieve better cardiovascular results in less than an hour of focused, intelligent work? This isn't about shortcuts. It's about understanding how your body actually responds to training stimulus and using that knowledge strategically. The second critical element that makes this approach so intelligent involves something called polarized training. This concept has revolutionized how endurance athletes structure their programs. The idea is simple but powerful. Most of your training should be easy, really easy, and a small portion should be very hard. The mistake most people make is training in the middle zone, that moderate intensity where you're working hard enough to accumulate fatigue, but not hard enough to create the adaptation stimulus your body needs for breakthrough improvements. Research published in sports science journals analyzed thousands of training hours from Olympic medalists across various endurance sports. The pattern was remarkably consistent. These athletes spent roughly 80% of their training time at low intensity, and 20% at high intensity. Almost nothing in the middle. When you combine this with the 4x4 protocol, you create an incredibly efficient training structure. Your easy days allow recovery and build aerobic base without excessive stress. Your hard days, using the interval method, push your system to adapt and improve VO2 max. This polarization matters because your body has different energy systems and they respond to different stimuli. Low-intensity work improves fat oxidation, increases mitochondrial density gradually, and builds endurance without depleting your recovery capacity. High-intensity intervals create the acute stress that forces rapid cardiovascular adaptation. The middle zone does neither particularly well and often leads to chronic fatigue without proportional gains. Understanding this distinction is what separates smart training from just grinding away, hoping for results. The third piece of this intelligent approach involves monitoring and progression. You need to know if what you're doing is working. Heart rate variability, resting heart rate, and actual VO2 max testing give you objective feedback. Many athletes train blindly, hoping they're improving but never actually measuring. With modern technology, tracking your cardiovascular fitness has never been easier. Smartwatches can estimate VO2 max with reasonable accuracy. You can monitor your heart rate during intervals to ensure you're hitting the right intensity zones. Progressive overload applies to cardiovascular training just like strength training. As your fitness improves, you need to adjust the stimulus. This might mean increasing the intensity slightly, adding an extra interval, or reducing recovery time between efforts. The key is systematic progression based on measurable data rather than random variation. Athletes who track their metrics and adjust accordingly see consistent improvements, while those who train by feel often plateau because they're either not pushing hard enough or pushing too hard without adequate recovery. Here's something else fascinating. Recent studies on breathing techniques during high-intensity intervals suggest that conscious control of your breathing pattern can enhance the training effect. Focusing on deep, rhythmic breathing during recovery intervals helps clear carbon dioxide and maintain better oxygen delivery during the next work interval. Some research indicates that nasal breathing during low-intensity work might improve respiratory efficiency over time. Though during high-intensity efforts, breathing, however, feels natural is best. Now here's a question for you. Think about your current training. Are you spending most of your time in that uncomfortable middle zone, pushing moderately hard every session? Or are you strategically dividing your efforts between truly easy and genuinely hard? This distinction might be the missing piece in your fitness puzzle. Comment below and tell me, how do you currently structure your cardio training? I'm genuinely curious to hear what's working for you. The beauty of this intelligent approach is its scalability. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced athlete, the principles remain the same. A beginner might start with 3-minute work intervals at a lower percentage of maximum heart rate, progressively building toward the full protocol. An elite athlete might add resistance or incline to increase the challenge. The framework adapts to your current fitness level, while providing a clear path for progression. This universality is rare in training methodologies, and speaks to how well this approach aligns with human physiology. One often overlooked factor is recovery between hard sessions. Your cardiovascular system needs 48 to 72 hours to fully adapt to high-intensity stimulus. This means you should only perform these demanding interval sessions 2 to 3 times per week maximum. More isn't better, it's counterproductive. The adaptation happens during recovery, not during the workout itself. Fill the remaining days with easy aerobic work, mobility, strength training, or complete rest. This patience is difficult for motivated individuals, but absolutely essential for long-term progress. Nutrition plays a supporting role that can't be ignored. Your body needs adequate carbohydrates to fuel high-intensity efforts and protein to support the physiological adaptations occurring at the cellular level. Chronic energy deficits will sabotage even the most perfectly designed training program. Iron levels matter significantly for oxygen transport, particularly for women and vegetarian athletes. If you're training intelligently but not seeing results, checking basic nutritional markers might reveal the limiting factor. Sleep is another non-negotiable element. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone and repairs the micro-damage created during intense training. Athletes who consistently sleep 7 to 9 hours per night show significantly better improvements in VO2 max compared to those who are chronically sleep deprived. You can have the perfect training program, but without adequate sleep, you're building on a weak foundation. This might seem obvious, but the data shows that most people dramatically underestimate how much sleep affects their training adaptations. There's also emerging research on temperature exposure and its effects on cardiovascular adaptation. Some studies suggest that heat acclimation, achieved through sauna use or training in warm conditions, might enhance plasma volume and improve cardiovascular function. Similarly, cold exposure might stimulate mitochondrial biogenesis through different pathways. While these aren't primary methods for improving VO2 max, they represent interesting complementary strategies that some elite athletes incorporate into their programs. The psychological component deserves attention too. High-intensity intervals are uncomfortable. They require you to push into discomfort zones repeatedly. Developing mental strategies to manage this discomfort, whether through music, visualization, or focused breathing, can determine whether you're actually reaching the intensity needed for adaptation or backing off just before the threshold. Mental toughness isn't just about suffering. It's about having the tools to access your physiological potential consistently. So, here we are. You now understand that the most intelligent way to boost your VO2 max isn't about running more miles or spending endless hours on cardio equipment. It's about strategic high-intensity intervals performed consistently within a polarized training structure, supported by adequate recovery, proper nutrition, and measurable progression. This approach respects both the science of human physiology and the practical reality that most of us don't have unlimited time to train. It's efficient, effective, and accessible, regardless of your current fitness level. The question now is, what you'll do with this knowledge. Will you continue following conventional approaches that deliver slow, incremental progress? Or will you apply these scientifically validated methods that elite athletes use to achieve remarkable results? Your cardiovascular system is waiting for the right signal to adapt and improve. Give it that signal consistently, intelligently, and watch what happens. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Comment below. What's your biggest challenge when it comes to cardiovascular training? Is it finding time, pushing intensity, or staying consistent? Your insights help shape future content. If this video added value to your understanding of fitness, hit that like button and subscribe, because we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore about optimizing human performance. Click the video on your screen to continue this journey into the science of getting better, stronger, faster. I'll see you in the next one.